Today, I'd like to welcome Donna Martin from the Goodlife approach. Thank you for having us here today, Donna. And I've just got 6 questions I'd like to ask you. What is your core area of expertise, your zone of genius that you bring to your students or clients?
I am a women's empowerment coach and speaker, and I specialise in identity shifting, manifestation, and helping people to step into their greatness. This is something I have gone throughout my life, through many transformations and 3 major impacts. And it's what I help other people do, is to actually understand that the power that you have is actually already within you. And I help you bring that out so that you can own your greatness and create your own version of the good life.
What is your professional background and what was your aha moment that led you to become the trainer you are today?
My professional background, I was a nurse for over 15 years. And at the beginning of that journey, for nearly 5 years, I specialised in patients with cancers, leukemias, palliative care. So I have literally nursed hundreds of people on their deathbeds at the end stage of this life. And for me, that working in that healthcare environment, that hustle, that bustle, that constantly going, I had my own wall, I had my own burnout. And yeah, the 15 years, the burnout hitting the wall myself was the final straw, where it was like, do you know what we're being taught to do, how we're being taught to show up, how we're being taught to care for others and not fill up our own cup, and hitting that wall and the impact it has on ourselves and our other people that matter. Enough was enough. So that was my turning point, and it was then time to elevate and say, nah, there has to be another way, and there absolutely is. And that's what I do now.
What makes you the blue unicorn in your field, or what is your superpower?
My superpower is my ability to be myself, Karina, to own it, to go with the ebbs and flows, especially that emotional cycle, those waves, but actually to know me, to pay attention to me, to trust me and understand me. And that ability that I do in myself and show up for myself, that translates them for other people, giving themselves that permission to be them, to own their own greatness. And that is what I believe my superpower is, to lead the way for other people to do the same.
What industry myths or misconceptions do you love to challenge through your training?
The biggest realization and aha moment I had was that we actually have a choice. For years, I did not understand that. I was in my 20s at the brink, severe depression at an all-time low, and I did not realize through mindset, through reading books, through self-help and personal development, I was unaware that just because I have a thought and have a feeling and have an emotion and a triggered response, it doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't mean it's my destiny. It just means it's an old program, an old default. And that was the biggest realization. And that for me, Karina, that for anybody gives me goosebumps today, because when you understand your mind is a mechanical thing and that you actually have a choice and that you have the power to choose every single moment, everything in your world changes. Everything in your world will shift. And that's the biggest thing.
Question 5 is, if you could speak directly to one person in a company who truly needs what you offer, who would it be? What would you say to get their attention? And why are they the person who needs to hear it first?
For that, it would be either the practice managers or the HR or the people that are there at the head organising the staff, because the key question here is, what's it costing your organisation in terms of time, money and resources? Every time someone's off sick, every time somebody hits a wall, every time someone crashes and burns, and then when you're bringing them back, that pathway back, what is the cost in time trying to get new staff in, getting them newly trained, putting your other staff under pressure? What's it costing then in time of money and finances for when they are off sick and they're not showing up, and then in resources again, and your reputation? Do people want to come and work here? Do they feel supported? Do they feel like they're thrown under the bus? This is a massive impact all round, and it impacts everyone in the organisation. right down just everybody. So that's where you would be going. Practice manager who organises the rosters, and the HR who are directly linked to that, to the budgeting. And then if you want to even go as far as the people that are in, looking at the finances, because that's the bottom line for partners and things that are brought in. It's they just want to know the numbers, but the real impact here is the actual people. And then go even further, what's the impact on their families, or how high is your turnover of staff?
Can you share a moment or story where you knew your work had made a real difference, something that captures why what you do matters?
So at the beginning of my journey in qualifying and doing my coaching and things like that, I had gone and done a mental health talk. And in that talk, I'd shared about my own journey and experience, and about that awareness of not understanding I had a choice. And there was a lady in the crowd in her early 60s who had left her marriage, but had been told stuff throughout her lifetime that she wasn't worthy, wasn't good enough, and she had all these dreams and she had quashed them. And she came up to me after the talk about me sharing my experience and the fact that we had a choice. And she became a client. And through that, she actually started her own business in her 60s, something she had dreamed about from she was a girl, something she was told she absolutely could not do. And she said, I can and I must. And she absolutely did. And from that, I have helped her to understand her power within, and now she manifests like a good one, like the things. She's attracted a right partner, she's attracted a dream home, she's attracted her life in alignment with her, and now it's impacting her kids, and people are looking at her in her 60s going, whoa, what have you done? How have you done that? And that for me is like, yeah, you're never too old. It's never too late. All you have is now.